welcome back to Dinner on a Show. I'm Brian.
I'm Tanner, and we're going to talk about Ruby Sparks.
It was a film that was on our top 5 underrated
I think it was number 3 on my
movies.
list of top 5 underrated films.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
We've wanted to talk about this film for a long time. It was his first time seeing it. And
as usual.
Yeah. That's pretty much how this goes, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's always great just seeing these movies that I haven't seen before, just expanding my film tastes.
Well, there you go. There you go.
So,
And for dinner, I'm eating cookies. And I'm
can I have a salad?
But I am drinking Diet Coke.
There you go. I'm drinking an Odwalla original superfood fruit smoothie. Not a sponsor.
Okay, so as usual, we're going to go with your initial reaction having seen this movie for the first time. Go.
All right. Well, there were a lot of 500 Days of Summer similarities, I would say.
Yeah, that is an
Just,
easy comparison because both films are like wake-up calls to hopeless romantics.
Yeah, because in 500 Days of Summer, Tom he thought he could never be happy until he found the one that would make him happy. And when he found her, he realized that, too late, that she just wasn't as into him as he was. And so when she broke up with him, he was devastated.
So in Ruby Sparks, we have our main character is a writer named Calvin, played by Paul Dano. And he, it's kind of weird. It's like he has this idea of what he wants in a relationship, and yet at the same time, he doesn't know what he wants in a relationship. He just knows that he wants, something in particular. He's not quite sure what it is, and then he dreams up this girl, and then he immediately writes about her, and then he falls in love with her. And then through some sort of magical occurrence that is never really explained, but it doesn't really need to be, she materializes. She becomes real. She's in his life. Other people can see her. He's not going crazy. She's there.
Yeah, and it's kind of, what kind of person
It's
hasn't...
love. It's magic.
Yeah, it's like, what kind of person hasn't really thought of that? He's like, you know what? For people that have girl trouble, it's like, I really... If I could just make her up, I don't know. That can be weird. But
the problem is, the more real Ruby becomes, the more unsure that Calvin is of her, and he finds that he can actually manipulate her actions and her behavior by simply writing about her. And he decides that, I want to do this, but...
Yeah, so that was kind of the key difference between this and 500 Days, where Tom was getting over a breakup and how to move on in a healthy way, whereas he is trying to figure out how to have a relationship in the first place.
Right, because
and
he
realizing...
already had a previous relationship, and we do find out more about that as the film goes on. And when he meets his ex-girlfriend later in the film, that becomes key when she says a very important line: "The only person he wanted to be in a relationship with was you," because he didn't want to know much about her that didn't interest him in the slightest.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's sort of what the situation is with him and Ruby. It's like she's becoming her own person. He doesn't want that. He wants someone that'll make her happy, who will love him forever and ever and ever. And he doesn't...
No conflict whatsoever.
He doesn't try that hard.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of the lesson. The main thing here is just that, you're not going to find somebody that's going to be exactly like you. They're going to have differences. They're going to have different passions than you. Hopefully, you find somebody that has similar passions to you so that you can be compatible. But they're not going to be exactly like you, and you're going to have to accept those differences. And hey, if it doesn't work out, you're going to have to accept that too. From the last relationship, I think, I was head over heels over that person, and I thought that they were great. But then as time went on, it became clearer and clearer that she was definitely different, and it ended up not being compatible. Just things couldn't work out. Calvin was a very difficult character to like. Yeah. And the reason I say that is because it just, he's an introvert. He doesn't really get out with a lot of people. The only person he really talks to is his brother and the people that, publish his books. Mm-hmm. That's basically it. Maybe his mom and dad, but or no, not his dad, her boyfriend. But I mean, that's even rarer. And then when Ruby Sparks comes into his life, she's the only person that he wants to talk to, and it's just kind of a scary thing. And then he just becomes, towards the end, a little more controlling, as he realizes that he can control Ruby and what she does and how she acts and how she behaves. And so yeah, just that kind of controlling, manipulative kind of power that he had and how he abused it, just, it wasn't likable at all. I mean, thankfully he learned from his mistake.
Yeah.
And was able to at least rectify it in some way. But
yeah, he got a real slap in the face, when he realized this whole thing, it may seem real, but it's not real. He's got to go for something a little more real. And there's a really unnerving moment later in the film that really hits home.
Oh yeah, it was definitely disturbing.
Yeah.
Because, well, I'm not going to spoil it, but I mean, it's definitely made me like Calvin a lot less. I would say. But geez, I think what made him redeemable was the people around him that told him, that Ruby wasn't real.
Yeah, they're all very well written. They're fully fledged. Played by a terrific cast. We have Annette Bening as the mother, Antonio Banderas as her lover.
I love Antonio Banderas.
Chris Messina as the brother. Steve Coogan as the other author. There's Elliot Gould as a therapist. Oh, and Zoe Kazan plays Ruby Sparks. I forgot to mention that. She also wrote the film. Mm-hmm. And she and Paul Dano are in a relationship. They've been together since 2007.
Yeah, so it was very interesting seeing them interact in a movie like that. Especially something like this. But, I think I liked his brother the best.
Yeah, because you would expect him to be like the sort of obnoxious comic relief who's there for nothing more than to be the obnoxious comic relief, which I see. Okay, that's one of my biggest pet peeves in most quirky independent comedy dramas. But this guy actually had a point, and he has some really important things to say about relationships, particularly because he's got a wife, and he sometimes talks to Calvin about about how sometimes the relationship isn't so smooth because the honeymoon stage doesn't last, and sometimes there are going to be some rough patches in the relationships, and you have to go through all that because of the good things in the relationship, so that it can keep going strong, and there has to be compromise.
Yeah, and
the film is also a major criticism against the trope of the manic pixie dream girl. You've seen this in movies like Garden State, Elizabethtown, and a few other films,
and it's something we've discussed before. I think.
Yeah. He's got a very crucial line that comes way early in the film when he first reads Calvin's manuscript about the character of Ruby. Look, man, this girl isn't real. Look, messed up girls whose problems make them endearing, they're not real.
They annoy you.
You don't know anything about
They might
women.
be charming at first, but they will annoy the crap out of you later on.
You don't know anything about women.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what he says. And it's definitely, which is totally fine, but if you have, a mindset of you're going to find somebody, it's very easy to get into the mindset that you're going to find this perfect person for you, and you're not. No. They're going to be different than you, and they're going to have different personalities than you, and they're going to get on your nerves. Some point in life.
You may think they're very similar to you, but they're not that similar.
Yeah, and that's a real person.
Yeah,
and I think that's what the movie really stresses. Because it is trying to beat the trope that the manic pixie dream girl, the girl that's just that's totally into mopey dudes. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Someone who has all the answers, but it's just that. Oh, come on, she was more than that. Okay, anyway, the film was also directed by Jonathan Dayton and Valerie Ferris, who also directed Little Miss Sunshine together, which also featured Paul Dano. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I think that was nominated for Best Original Screenplay.
It won Best Original Screenplay.
It won. Yeah. There we go. It was awesome. So I think that's all I got to say about that. So, but before I give my rating, I think you had something to say.
Right. Well, okay. So I'm just gonna put this away. I don't need food while I'm about to talk about this. Okay. So I saw this film like when it first came to DVD because like it wasn't in theaters. Like around my area when I was living in Northeast Arkansas because it was limited release and the theater in Jonesboro didn't get those many movies, but whatever. So I waited till DVD. I checked it out because I read some reviews for it. I was like wondering what's in this film that's getting all this praise, and I watched it. I loved it. I gave it 4 stars. I wrote my review for it, and I sort of like praised it for what I thought it really was, which is a really endearing, very well written, romantic comedy, fantasy, drama, however you want to categorize it. Basically, so I just sort of saw the film and reviewed it like simply as that. I didn't see it again until like a couple of years later, and by that time I was already 7 months into a relationship with my girlfriend Kelly, and when I was watching this film again, I paid more attention to the film's themes, and particularly the main character of Calvin. And I realized I was sort of like Calvin in a sense, because there was a long time when I really wanted a girlfriend. I imagined this wonderful, incredible woman that would love me. Like, I had this specific vision in mind for who I wanted this person to be. As time went on, I think I probably realized, I think it was from watching the film again, that this person that I'm imagining just isn't real. It's just part of my imagination. And the more I thought about that, the more I realized, I was looking more at the relationship between Calvin and Ruby. And like he said, Calvin is an introvert. And I'm kind of an introvert too. But whenever my girlfriend like wants me to like attend a party with her and like be more sociable, be a little more active, I'll at least make an effort, which is something Calvin doesn't do.
That was annoying.
There's a long sequence in which they go and visit his mother and her lover in Big Sur, and he doesn't want to do anything with them. All he wants to do is just like sit around, read a book, and like not interact or anything, because that's just what he wants to do. But it's not cool. It was kind of like the only person I wanted to love was myself. And Calvin learns this the hard way, and I think while watching this film again, I think that it was when I was in this relationship that I sort of learned it too. And you know, my girlfriend and I, we may have our similarities, but we also have our differences too, and we don't let that bother us at all. Like, we want to understand each other more. We want to make an effort to like keep the relationship going, like find ways to make it work or whatever. And if there's a problem, we just talk about it. Yeah. Because you know, like relationships are really hard, and you have to like give it your best effort to just. You know,
that's what makes a relationship a relationship. Getting to know each other and all their differences and quirks.
Yeah, that's right. So,
and it can be platonic or romantic. You know, because it's like I think my brother and I were very close, and it took us a while to figure out, you know, that we needed to get along, because you know we were living with each other for a while, like when we were living with our parents still in high school and stuff. And we used to not be able to stand each other, but I think something just clicked, and we were able to accept each other's differences. Like, this is what annoys you, this is what annoys me. You like this stuff, I'm like this.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So
let's not let that get in the way. We're gonna be close.
There you go. It's But yeah, going back to what I was saying, it's like personal experience mixed with the messages from this film sort of influenced me to be the best I can be in a relationship. And Kelly and I have been together for 2 years, 4 months, and 2 weeks now.
Would you say that Ruby Sparks was to you like 500 Days of Summer was to me?
Absolutely.
When it comes to relationships?
And I think you know my rating by now. And, you know, honestly, I'm not going to lie. This is one of my top 100 personal favorite movies because of what it taught me. And I'm going to give it a secret handshake.
There you go. That's pretty awesome. I'm going to give the film a high 5. I think for the most part, the main character kind of bogged down the movie for me. I know he had to be this way in order for the story to, have it get its themes across. I wish he was a little. So I wish he was a little more likable in the sense that he just wasn't a social recluse smoking around. I don't know. I get tired of that.
That's understandable. I mean, like, this guy is pretty much a mess.
Like, he is a deep mess. I'm just like, dude. It's like, you're a genius. You are rich. I mean, that's...
Don't call him a genius. He hates the
word genius. Hates that. Sorry. He is a brilliant writer. And...
I'm not sure he likes the word brilliant either.
Whatever he is, he's smart. And he goes to a shrink. I don't know why he goes to a shrink. But he goes there, and yeah, I mean, he just doesn't have anybody else to talk to. It's just like, this guy's kind of messed up. Yeah. It's just like...
He is.
So anyway, that just kind of distracted me a whole lot. It's like, man, he needs a life. But but other than that, film was brilliant. It had
it's very funny.
I love the message. I love the messages that went with the film.
It's very funny. It's very insightful. It's much deeper than I thought it was the first time I saw it, and
yeah,
it gets better every time I watch it.
Yeah, a lot of romantic comedies have gotten more realistic. We're not they gone.
I think it's because we're past the phase where we don't need a lot of
gone are the when Harry met Sally
get
days.
The asses in the seats.
Yeah, or the gone are the Princess Diaries or the Princess Bride movies. It's like, death cannot stop true love.
We need to actually interpret what it means to love someone.
So, yeah, apparently this generation's a mess, and they need movies like this to get us back into shape. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway, that's all we got for today. Hope you like it. It was great. We had a great time enjoying this. I enjoyed this movie. Of course, this guy is one of his top 100s.
Yeah.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We greatly appreciate it. I'm Brian.
I'm Tanner.
And we will see you at the movies.